Greetings. This is Free Night Adventure. I finally welcome you to my recap of Critical Role's Thresher Part 2. Power Rises. It's been a long time since I got caught. I couldn't watch this earlier, and then by the time I started by the time I got more time on my schedule, I already was starting to watch. We were just coming along with the Age of Umbra, and I've been making sure to watch those live and get those out as soon as possible. So I'm sorry. And hopefully, with this, I can also start getting and recording getting caught up on all the other stuff, other one shots and specials. I'll say since the end of Camping 3, such as continuing with critical with Exandria Limited Divergence, and also their live show and the recordings of their live shows. Now, before I go on, I must disclose that those that I do not own nor am associated with Critical Role is YouTube or Twitch channels or any of his other online projects. And as for and I will also be showing clips directly from the episode. My usual criteria for clips is focus more on comedy than important moments. So certain important moments will happen, like anything of real big significance that happens right before a break, or a break or the end of the episode. Sometimes there will be other important things too. Also, I'll in case of when the magic's involved, I'll always include the magical messaging and stuff. But in this case, though, for this episode, for this series, I'm substituting that with any recordings, audio, or visual, or just audio. Maybe other thing. And now, on with the episode.
Oh, well, hello, and
also, I'll be having, of course, as always, I'll be also having my homebrew at the end of the evening to help for your own entertainment and to help avoid copywriting, which will call a new homebrew, an older homebrew, which just seems too appropriate, and a preview of what we'll be seeing tomorrow for Daggerheart, for the homebrew, with one of the first wave of my Daggerheart class expansion pack 3.
welcome back to episode 2 of Thresher. I am so excited to be back. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much to a wonderful cast. We have Nashidella, we have Jane Douglas, Boomer Castleman, Marcella Coombs, and Mara, and Jacqueline Emerson. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Very excited. I don't want to waste any more time. Before we do get started, we have to thank our sponsor for tonight, Hit Point Press, who's giving us lots of help, shall we say, for today's episode. We have to watch and find out how.
This is test number 47. Subject, living minis. Objective, controlled animation, no anomalies. These living minis represent the future of tabletop gaming. With over 30 animated monster miniatures, these animated standees can bring your encounters to life. Like this fire elemental. You can tilt them and watch them as they shift before your very eyes. No more static figures, no more lifeless. Did that just... As I was saying, these minis are compact, durable, and affordable. And right now, for just $1, you can become a VIP and... Oh, come on. Let me find the right switch. Hold on. If you sign up to the VIP list for $1, you will get a free Mimic Mini when backing the Kickstarter. Alright, let's try that again.
Is that him, or is that supposed to be him, or is that Sam? I can't tell.
Reserve your spot.
I think it's him. If it's Sam, of course he works his way into the ad.
It's alive. Oh god. It's alive.
Thank you so much, Hit Point Press. I think it's about time that we go ahead and get into tonight's episode.
SS France embarks on maiden trend. Today at the World's Fair, Beatles hit the charts with Love Me
Amen.
Do, music's newest sensation.
Tonight, General Dynamics prepares Ranger 3 to photograph the ocean's surface. Expert special.
Jacques Cousteau's conch-shell run experiments begin. Humans living beneath ocean waves.
Cuban Missile Crisis deepens. Disturbing wizards.
Operation Fishbowl launches nuclear tests over Pacific waters.
Strange sea creature spotted near
Feeling good?
No.
Yeah, just checking.
The lights have come back on. Suddenly, you can now see the illuminated ocean floor all around you, along with these several buildings. Hovering just above the two of you, you can see this creature. This one seems more refined, less scarred, less marked. You see that the face now has these two huge, bulbous eyes on it. It seems to have a weird kind of seam that runs all the way down its body, almost like across the middle section, the whole thing. And it sort of looks curiously towards you. A mouth now just filled with rows and rows of teeth. And I think all of you as well, from inside this observatory, can also see this kind of slight moment, this slight hesitation, this standoff. As you suddenly feel your feet return to the floor, as whatever power was back on in this particular observatory seems to be activating that pump, and the room itself is now beginning to empty of water.
Betty's hand from the working the gear or the lever of the stuff that activated the power stuff hit. Betty's hands got crushed. Like she got some broken fingers, her wrist and stuff is hurting bad. I will say they do take a quick notice to how from the outside the buildings here are very sleek looking, like not like in as much as in the inside. Like honestly, I feel like a lot of this place is more for the design is less practical, more for appearances, like to convey an image that the creators of Atlantic Tech want to have. Damon, right now it's Damon and Betty outside facing. And Damon tells her, Betty, there's a door right behind you. Move slowly. Told her, is she okay? And he gets ready, like his knife up and ready to fight. Hercule from the observatory is watching is small warning. One thing I forgot to disclaimers. Hopefully this won't be for that many episodes. It will. Hopefully will get resolved. Clicking that so it won't affect the episodes. I'm currently waiting, trying to get my YouTube Premium back on, so I don't have to watch ads. So while doing clips are on, there may or may not be YouTube ads. You'll know because when it suddenly changes to something else and I start cursing. Hercule is currently sees what's going on, but it's also scanning the interior, waiting for others. Waiting to see if there's others. He is very familiar with sea life and stuff, and a lot of ocean life. Like he knows, like for orca packs, the one who's seen preparing to attack may just be the distraction. The others, think Velociraptor attackers from Jurassic Park.
Jerking motions can get to the door without kind of startling it.
Can I ask a question? I was in the observation
Yes,
chamber
you were actually
watching
giving.
what they were doing.
So you can both have an extra die because of the
And orcas hunt in packs, and it's not
Oh yeah,
uncommon for the attacker to actually be the ruse, while the rest of the pack is elsewhere. Sure.
Don't give me
I'm
ideas.
just-
What are you doing?
I'm paying attention
That is the
to
GM's
where they are not
favorite
focused. Yeah.
I'm going to spend a physical drive on this.
I'm also going to spend a drive, so I've got 6.
they start getting door. They do pretty well. They get to manage to open it. However, the creature suddenly rushes forward and gets right in her face. But it doesn't continue to do a more hostile. It doesn't indirectly hostile as it continues, and its actually hand goes right to the hand. It almost starts like caressing the side of Betty's helmet. However, when the door gets open, they quickly manage to get inside before and close it before the creature can get in, which does not please this entity. It starts attacking like full-on body slams against the thing. And this hatch has the glass on it so they can see. As it hits, you can see it actually injuring itself, like blood. The water fills with blood. And now they're in. Now they clear the water and they clear out this patch of water and enter into the main building, entering a laboratory to be precise. Thankfully, since they are still here, they can breathe and no longer need to spend oxygen. Backing up the observatory, as you said, what we were talking about before, when the power came on, the observatory started to drain of water. And now it's also supplying oxygen. Like many places on the base are not, which now are not breathable in the whole installation. We don't know how many, but we can assume a lot of part of it now powers back on can now support it without having to use up their precious tanks. Hercule, though, is kind of having a lot of time. Like previous episode, he got pretty bashed around. So he's doing those. It let water into his suit and stuff, so he's real heavy. Like he's like right now lying down because it's too hard to with all the extra weight from the water in his suit. the injuries and his he has both the new ones he just took and his old ones he's had since the start, laying down. Emily goes to help him and unseals his boot, which allows the water to pour out, hopefully to allow him to move better. Back in the lab, they look around. There's a bunch of tables with these slabs. Trays. You see like lots of different sea life and stuff, usually, but with strange oddities among them. Like it's slightly mutated, like an eye in the wrong place, like it, and so on. And then there's pieces of things which are too big to are misshapen to really come to identify what type of creature they came from. And they find another pouch with a recording inside.
Looking around trying to see where we can go from here, but I'll walk around with it, so I'm kind of playing it as we
Basically, they're still trying to look and they
move.
Yeah, what's Emma doing? Is your...
Yeah, I think I go towards you to see what.
Yeah, and there's lights on now as well, so it's much easier for you to move around. It does look like there's a door which sort of leads further into the sort of laboratory.
Yeah, there are lots of. Oh yeah, I forgot they had a doctor. That wasn't
area. Which it does actually seem to have some like flickering lights on and stuff on inside there as well.
Probably, yeah. I'll probably listen to this and keep my eye on the door.
Yeah, great.
The dreams.
That sounds like Matt.
They're different now. He used to be constant. Cities like something creeping in through the cracks. Waves, swallowing cities. Your faces I recognize, but twisted and distorted. I wake up sweating, gasping, and knowing something was watching me. But after I stole the vault seat, it's just the one. And then, like that, the dream stopped. I sleep with the damn thing under my pillow now. I keep it in the hole. I drilled a hole in my queen piece. Yeah, checkmate, right? Reminds me of my sis. Gosh, I hope she's...
Marcus!
56. I don't know if we should even be recording this, but I need something to keep track. These damn pills, they're supposed to help, right? But ever since you gave me this new batch, they just make me feel wrong. Like there's something thick in my throat, this buildup. God, this smell, it's like an oil slick, a rotten fish. It just sits there. I can't... See? That's not normal. I keep telling myself I'm just run down, nerve shot, but something's off. I should ask Yvette. She'll know. She always does. Or maybe I should just stop taking them and see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll do.
And it cuts out. Marcus! It just collapsed to the ground, holding the recorder.
She's crying, saying they made him one of those things. She then tells Damon that she specifically came here to look for Marcus. Every time they take injury, they take a scar, but they also count mental injuries with brains going. She's had, and apparently she's already having one since before the. Yet, as she releases up, she knows what happens, and now it releases. That scar seems to ease. But then she kind of goes to Raymond and says, "Why are you here?" And here it said, beyond being paid and stuff, and he admits that he actually knows the good doctor, Yvette, yes. And hearing this and how her brother wasn't really trusting of remembering that in the recording, her brother was starting to seem not very trusting. She asked, "Do you care for her, or is it something else?" Something else. So, hopefully, as we know from this point, we know that at this point means that he's not siding with anyone against them, or. And Betty asks him, "Will you help me make them pay?" Which he does agree to. They leave they see this offshoot room. They leave the room. They see what it looks like. It has bedding stuff like someone's quarters, but it has a distinct feel of not being made for that originally. Like it was been repurposed to some corner. Repurposed into living quarters. And then on one side there's a wall string of lights in the middle. There seems to be like a shrine with different papers and articles. One word seems to keep and there's a word that keeps repeating, something prominent. Rift. And then there seems to be other letters addressed written to someone. They seem to be almost like a reverence or impassioned, almost like love letters. And they are signed and were apparently written by Yvette, Dr. Yvette Durand. But her letters and stuff papers also mention another name recurring. And they mention Hercule, the same Hercule who is on mission with them. Alarming. With some letters addressed to him saying, "My Hercule," but then
you touch these letters and everything, you start to get this strange feeling, this oily texture in your mouth, which is only made worse by when you, with a 6, look up and see right in the center of this shrine, there is a picture. On it is the words, "My Hercule," and there's a picture of a man that does not look like the man that you are currently traveling with.
That was like, oh. That got me like.
I turn my radio off and I look at you.
I turn my radio off.
You don't tell anyone over there what we saw. Especially Mr. Poirot over there. Understand?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Poirot. That's the wrong Hercule. That's a detective.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
You're talking. No.
Okay.
Can you, is there another door here? Or is this like the dead end room?
There is I'll say with a 6, actually, you do notice that there is a little, like, hatch, and then, which seems to have, like, a ladder that goes down, if you wanted to.
Can I do something with one of my turn the tires?
Absolutely.
I'm furious.
Yeah.
I'm really mad about everything that's happening. And I want
just to very clarify for everyone watching at home. So when our wonderful players, achieve an objective, which I set out for them, I give them a token, and that allows them to shift the tide, which essentially means that they get to take control of the narrative for a beat. There are some restrictions, that you can't just hurt another player or kill another player, but you can help another player. You can find something. You can move the story forward in any way that you would like to. So please take it away.
What I would like to do is, in a few moments, maybe while Damon is kind of examining things, checking out this hatch, I, in a fury, just go into the lab and I start grabbing stuff. A pipe, a canister, maybe of a gas or an air, and I start building something. And I want to make, basically, like a pipe gun, like a kind of, nail gun, basically, and just slam this thing together as quick as possible, like grab just supplies, whatever I can find, and just load this thing up as a loaded, ready-to-use, like, deadly weapon.
Yeah.
And, I think as you do that, and I'm kind of left in the room, I'm gonna give you this.
Oh boy.
And I'm kind of like surveying everything, but I'm looking at this picture, and I'm gonna focus on this picture.
Okay.
And then kind of wait, and then move back in and sort of look at this gun that you've made. I'm like,
throw like a strap of bandoliers or, things over there, and I'm just like,
I am in business, huh?
yeah, I'm in business. Whatever those fucking things are, whoever he is, I want answers.
Alright.
Let's go.
I turn the radio back on. I'm like, hey, where you not hiding?
Oh, we're still at the observatory.
Are you safe? We saw you go in.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm sorry. Yep, sorry, that clips are in. They talked to us, saying and they asked if there's any way to, and they asked, did you find anything? And he goes, gets a little quiet for it, and Damon goes a little quiet for it, and they have to pick up saying, just found a lab, or like, nothing really interesting in here. They try to figure out if there's any way, what the best way to make it to the lab is, like, preferably not by swimming. But there suddenly the fountain that was in the middle of this room starts to reactivate, and inside there is a projection of this blonde woman going, asking, "How may I help you?" Apparently, there's a computer. They'll be able to utilize more computer assistance. They asked how to get to the tunnels. But which confused the computer. It seems confusing. Like there are no tunnels in here. But then we do. They do that. There it does identify those service tubes. And they recall last episode like how they found blueprints of the tubes, but they weren't on the official thing. So these are like little additions that weren't meant to see the light of day. Maybe not. Probably not even. It's probably not even because of anything serious stuff, but perhaps they make that because they probably made it just to make sure the place seems more technically advanced than it is. It's still advanced, but not as not everything is as advanced. Just like how every structure from the outside looks very sleek and stuff. And Hercule asks, "What is the purpose of the Bell's Reach?" Which apparently is to stop unwanted water currents from hitting like parts of the structures where they're not supposed to, like protect the structure. Also, by redirecting, and also using the redirected currents as a fast mode of transportation. After asking about what the safety measures are for the use of it's possible to use tubes, but take a while, especially since they'll have to walk. And Hercule is still has got a limp. Fastest way would be to swim, and with the currents, they could get there very fast. Now they could redirect them, but that creature's still out there. He asked if Hercule could make it, like his condition. He said, well, he does confirm that he can make it, thankfully, so. He does note that, though, when they first found out about the service tubes, the tunnels, as they keep on calling them, the workers around are like being them to hear this humming, so instead of trying to figure out like directions and stuff driving, they like if they do tubes, use tubes, follow the vibrations.
These, like what we've been accessing.
It's something different. It's like an
astral secret tunnel, yeah.
Secret
tunnel.
There's a YouTuber I saw watch who just watches games and stuff, but he lets the audience watching him play, like shooting these. He hates it when they use the secret tunnel. I was kind of like, Drew, till I remembered where they actually got that secret tunnel thing originally from, and then I hate it too.
I guess, like, do you guys tell us on the radio that you're coming?
Yeah,
you're trying to come over, or you?
Yeah, don't go yet. We'll come to you.
Okay.
Also, though, we have met some sort of library interface. Are there questions you want us to ask? Information, perhaps?
He's basically telling Betty and Damon to if there's anything they need to ask, ask them to that, and they can ask a computer. But unfortunately, he's the one asking, so Damon and Betty just really turn off the radios and go back into the other room and start trashing the place, destroying the shine and stuff. Make you feel things that evidence in case others need convincing, but Yeah, they don't want them to get there and then for him to walk in and realize they're onto him because they don't know. They do note that while touching a lot of the papers, they do get an oily taste in their mouth. Well, yeah, and at this point, after back in the observatory, after his low stress, they do determine that they know it's out there right now. The creature out there, they last saw it there. They did encounter it in Tussle, so it has a way into the zone. It's a long time, so it's probably time for it to find them too. At least out there, they can use the currents to regroup as fast as possible. So they enter the airlock and prepare to swim. They can hear outside the cry, the call of the creature. It seems a little bit far up, so there's a bit more room. Before they leave, though, they did adjust the reach to direct them toward the end, the water entrance of the lab. They go out through to get in. They manage to get in the waterlock thing, but due to improperly opening it, the water just pours in before it's ready, and they get pushed in. Emily ends up making saves and is fine. But Hercule and Valve get caught and get battered a bit. And the chamber is flooded. They need to, in order to get it, they manage to close it, but it's still full. And in order to, they need to work on the wiring, cross the wires and stuff to get it working again. And to clear the water so they can enter without taking out the lab beyond. After a few checks, they make it in and enter the lab. However,
out, but reunited. You see that emerging out of the hatch, this creature, one hand, two hands. That room where you've just destroyed, you can see now through into this room, these flickering lights, all of this stuff strewn across the floor. This whole lab itself looks like it's been sort of ransacked and destroyed. That door behind you would take a while to decompress. You have essentially a door back towards the Dover Well, or to the left you have a door to the Crimson Strand.
And where's the hatch?
The hatch is...
That's where the thread is. As they see the creature come out and start moving toward, they notice the eyes seem smaller. The teeth... This one has small teeth. The teeth are rounded more. Some of its flesh looks more like our type of thing. And they see a seam down the front of its face, and it has a discolored hand. They realize something. There's not one creature. There's a same creature. One they thought they killed, but it's back. And strong. Every time it singly dies, it comes back evolved. More refined. It's no longer like these animalistic jittery spinning, but slowly stalking forward. You can see like part of its collarbone and stuff seems to have been broken, like from the, but it seems to be refused in, but not properly. And Hercule starts walking toward the creature, trying to look for signs of sentience, like it's more, like it's being more than just an animal.
I think it reaches out towards you, grabs you by the shoulder, pulls you in, and you hear as it sinks.
I shoot it.
Okay,
As soon as it makes the attack.
well, let's resolve the attack.
Reality bending. You miss.
What?
What?
Okay.
What's your current scar?
What?
Wait, what? Excuse me?
Reality bending!
What just happened?
A scarf tied
You
up
have
one.
okay. You all watch as you fire. This was a dead-on shot, and you watch as the two creatures seem to almost the two of you seem to almost phase together for a split second. As that happens, the bullet goes straight past, and then they back out, and you see the creature then lifts its head up, viscera dripping down as you take a body scar.
What the fuck?
What's everyone doing? High tide or low tide, first of all?
High tide.
High tide?
High tide.
High tide.
Yeah, hi.
I think
Yours
majority
is?
rules.
Yes.
Majority rules.
I'll say you are definitely closest to the door by the Crimson Strand. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to go for the creature. I'm going to go kill it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go for the creature,
Yeah.
make me a strike.
All right. And I'm going to spend three drives here.
He manages to hit the creature and uses it rendered flesh to do serious damage.
Yeah.
But this time I think it's pulling as well as moving this creature away from
Yeah.
To do this, does he have to pass within reach of me?
He would do, yeah.
Is there anything I can do to try to interfere?
With him doing this, I'm gonna say you move at such a speed that for all of you watching, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. He moves so fast and is so strong, and you see him grab this thing and easily overpower it. And you know how quick and strong and powerful this creature is. As this knife drives into the side of this creature's head, you pull it round, and it's almost like a shell being cracked open as you hear, "Thank you." And you see as this skin and flesh gets pulled, the knife digging round the side of the face. You just see part of a face kind of peeking through almost like a shell, and you recognize the eyes that now sit behind it.
Marcus! No! What?
And this creature falls to the floor.
And I'm just going to
And I'm going to need you to take a brain lock, please.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to keep hacking at this thing, just absolutely, almost like...
Can you make me a focus roll, please?
Yes. Literally just crushing this beast's head. 6.
6?
Yeah.
Then I think it's up to you whether you resist
Oh, no,
the
wait.
urge that you...
No,
Yeah.
sorry, because I haven't got any, so it's 3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
I think you feel an overwhelming urge in this moment as you see raw flesh right there
So,
in front of you.
all you see me, and see what you guys, fuck, you see me just hacking at this thing and going crazy, then suddenly, you thought that it was with my knife, but it's actually my hands. And my face gets closer and closer to this thing as I start devouring its face.
I shoot him.
Get away from my fucking brother!
I'm gonna burn my resistance to re-roll that. 2 5s.
2 5s?
Yeah.
You shoot him. You take 2 body marks.
Okay.
As you feel this unbelievable, like, white-hot pain in your shoulder that kind of snaps you out of it for a second, as you all hear a sickening as you see that door that you sealed up is suddenly struggling under the pressure, and you see the door itself begins to crack and buckle and bend. What do you all do? Where are you going?
It's time to fucking go.
I'm going through the door. I throw it open and I start running down the hallway.
So you run into the Crimson Strand? You all heading in the same direction?
Yeah, I think taking that.
I think the hit probably does snap you out of it for a second, and you feel great now.
Yeah, so I'm like, and I start running, towards the Crimson Strand,
Great.
covered in blood.
I don't think I run.
Betty is distressed. She's almost catatonic. Heckle starts, despite his weird actions, starts consoling her and gets her to focus back on him and gets her out before and closes the thing before it fails and that room is destroyed, saving him from what would have been a definite death, regardless of what their health is.
In that room. I believe you have a... Was that the note you wanted to pass? No? Okay. Okay.
It was.
So how you that remark?
You all dive inside of the Crimson Strand. You see there is this central kind of boiling sort of mass in the center, and it is almost unbearably hot in here. As you realize now, as you look through the windows, that the Crimson Strand is surrounded by all sides by this geyser. That this was clearly built on top of it as a way of it then absorbing that energy. So it is insufferably hot in here. As you look across now, you can see that area that you saw in that video earlier with Admiral Anders, that place where he put a key in. And I think that just through, your knowledge and your knowledge, you know that the only way to, reactivate the station to turn it on properly is with both of those keys. However, there is a red light pulsing in the center of the room, and you can hear there's emergency sirens going off, and there is a repeating message about depressurization. It seems that whatever happened, it...
It's basically compromised the air pressure along the whole thing. The entire facility is right now in, at least the structure they're in is in danger of imploding. Destroying it. Not to do that, they gotta get the power back. Once they get power to the emergency protocols up, but they have to be activated properly. They see control panel with several keys on it, and one empty key slot. There's a bloody handprint, and then you see bloody drag marks hanging off further down. They lead to under the tide mark. They reach it, and they keep falling, and they reach a door with a keypad. Yeah, something to hack, or they could choose, or we go with Damon's are trying to break it down.
Hammering against this door. Every single time your fist connects, you can feel the fibers in your muscles starting to tear apart. And you keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And from the outside, you could swear you see his muscles almost look like they're like rippling and bulging at the pressure. Your hands cracking as well. And I think you're going to take 2 body marks as you just relentlessly pound against this thing, almost with a level of frantic, like an uncontrolled kind of frantic energy.
And there's 4 marks with gives you a scar.
3 gives you, and if you've got like 1 left over, that kind of carries on.
Yeah,
essentially.
Okay, cool. I'll take that scar.
Is that a scar?
Yeah.
How do you think it manifests?
I think there is, as you see, like the muscles tearing and rendering and my arms bulging. I think what you guys also notice is that my hands have grown in size, and they look human but slightly beastly. I think you can't necessarily tell whether it is bruising.
We already know there was something unusual beside his reaction last time.
Of like a creature. Whoa. And I don't think I can suppress that anymore. I think that there is a sense of, I'm looking at my hands and I'm seeing them, and I'm sort of like, I'm visibly in pain, and I think it's gonna just, yeah.
There is a hole that's opened up in this door. Do succeed, you make a hole in, and as you look in, you see now that there are all these little, almost like drawers, kind of stacked one on top of another. And they don't seem to have a keyhole or anything on the outside, but in the center of the room there is this, like, screen, essentially, and it's sort of flickering on now, and you can see that bloody mark kind of continues until you see that there are sort of remains of, like, clothes and bits of bone, but, like, the actual, like, evidence of the whole body is completely gone.
I'm gonna run forward and see, kind of clocking this and clocking that. I'm gonna run forward and see if the key is anywhere in the pile.
Go for it. Go for it. Everybody's survey.
So we can enter the room. It's not like
yeah, you can get into that. Like, yeah, absolutely. And if you want to as well, there is this computer like
yeah. Can I
station
survey to
here.
see if the screen has an interface?
Yeah.
And then, would we consider this a high stakes roll?
Oh, of course.
Okay. I mean,
I
it's
think
a cool
all
under
the
pressure
rolls of the rest of the
feature.
game are probably going to be high
Fine.
rolls.
Cool under pressure, and I'm gonna burn a drive.
Great.
Okay. I'm gonna take the sec.
Yeah. Yeah.
The rolls of the rest.
Yeah, hold on. Or they see a screen. There's she goes through the ball. Finds they manage to get to the computer interface. And Val determines that it finds something interesting. Unlike the other files they found, this one is a raw file.
A little video springs up onto the screen and begins to play.
Oh, what? What?
This is Admiral Anders
This is the video we saw at the beginning of the first episode.
of the Atlantic station Rán Boer. Systems are failing, the crew is mutinous, and there appears to be something down here with us. I understand that protocol demands that I get as much information off of this station as possible. However, due to the perceived threat to the outside world, I have made the decision to initiate. I understand that protocol demands that I get as much information
I know. Do you
off
notice
of this
there's someone to the
station as
side?
possible. However, due to the perceived threat to the outside world, I have made the decision to initiate the abyssal lockdown of protocol, destroying the station. Dr. Blackwell agrees. 3, 2.
Uh-oh. That's...
seeing someone that you recognize in this video, you realize that Emily is no longer in the room.
Huh?
Oh, bitch.
He's got the.
Okay, what the fuck is going on here?
It's just like doing an escape room with horrible people.
Betty, Val, and Hercule start panicking, and because of that, they use up another hour of their oxygen supply. They start doing they remember how she was the one who searches before they saw the group. She's the one who searches through those pile of clothes and bones, and realized she must have taken something. Val at this point decides just to run, try to find a way out and get back to the Thresher. And she's not to suggest that she is running now. She's not even trying to. She's just running for herself. This actually does cause her panic, then, though. Her group starts preparing his emergency, his own emergency thing, his backup oxygen supply, and prepping it for situation. Betty tries to get a read on her girl to try to see to trust, and does think that despite what they saw, knowing that this is not, he's not, he says, based on what he's actually done so far, that they could trust him, and the actions, and then because this, both of their packs end. And then asks Hercule, what is going on? Tells them about the shrine they found. He's not the real Hercule. But before we can get into all that, though, Damon goes after Emily.
Twisting the key is none other than Dr. Blackwell. And she is saying and doing.
Have I turned on the ship yet?
You can do it as part of this.
Okay. Dr. Blackwell looks at you all. I'm sorry, I'm not dear darling Emily, aren't I? You may call me Corinne. And she turns both of the keys.
As the keys turn, there is a moment of the lights black out. Pitch darkness. Stillness. Nothing but the void of endless sea swirls around you. No fish move, no current, nothing. Until eventually sound comes crashing back.
And in the void of darkness you hear, Iroth Naxal Velos Drith, Un Karash Viroth Viryoth. By the old pact sealed in blood and salt, let the sleeper stir. Let the veil break. Hear me, O hidden one, and rise from the silent deep. And with that, she rips her arm open and blood splatters all over the floor. The necklace that has fallen out from behind her cravat is now glowing blue.
As this happens, the lights burst back on. Almost emerging out of the pitch darkness, you see you suddenly come flying through the space towards her.
This is Damon.
And there is a moment as your hand reaches up and you stop. As you are unable to strike her. A hand suddenly held there, the lights illuminating it. You looking at your hand, almost feeling betrayed by your own body, as you hear a whisper in your head. As do you, Corinne.
That's
Finally free. Thank you, both of you.
And then just in your head,
You will not strike a fellow sister, one who serves the same as you.
and you feel your hand starts to ripple and change. Spines and spikes and grey, kind of fishy flesh starts to cover your whole arm, and skin starts to grow over your face as you start to morph into this strange fish-like being. Through the window, the bubbles have ceased. As it seems, the Crimson Strand now is doing exactly as it was intended, absorbing the power of this brilliant geyser underneath. And instead, at the windows, like temples, skyscrapers, huge and terrible tentacles. Just slowly swaying.
This monstrous form of demon goes and tries to makes a lunge for Val. Try to devour. Val's is still impossible running, and so he goes chasing after her. She heads into the part known as the Bastion. You can see these mechanical structures, mech suits in there, and all sorts of weapons. And she just goes and grabs some weapon to try to defend herself. What she grabs is a grenade launcher and aims it right for Damon.
Oh. Oh my god.
He's like,
3 sixes?
I don't know what you want to do with 3 6s. I know what I want to do with
666 in the presence of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
You are the chosen one.
You see as this grenade sort of lands, hits the ground, doesn't explode, rolls right between your legs, and there is a moment as your form now looks down, as it blows up, you go flying back, hitting into the side of the wall, your legs and the lower half in tatters. Feel no pain. You feel only hunger, as you hear in your mind,
It will take far more than that.
these tentacles now start thrashing at the side of this building.
I will save my children.
And you know instinctively this thing is trying to get in to kill everyone but you two.
they keep trying to figure out what to do. They do know that because she hasn't, if she was one of the creatures, she would turn it. So she isn't a human, but she's still in league. And Hercule, who has already prepared his option, throws the tank at Damon and tells Betty to shoot it.
Come on, alright, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my Shift the Tide.
Oh, yes, here we go! Okay.
My Shift the Tide. So as I see this oxygen tank come towards me, I'm trying to patch myself together, my hand's still there. I kind of laugh as you've blown me back to where my canister is. And as I sort of hit it, you just see this spray of like red liquid just douse me. And you get this strange kind of tingy smell of like metallic sort of elements of it, because you realise that this is human blood. And suddenly I sort of awaken, and this canister, I pick it up and I throw it at like a window for it, and as you shoot it, I throw it and kind of want to blow the window up to bring water in.
Okay.
And that's what I do.
Can I try to use reality bending to make him slip as he grabs the canister?
Unfortunately, this shift the tide ability is full narrative control.
Ah, la 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 la. Well, then
Window.
perhaps I can use my shifted tide to change it back?
I'm going to say you can't undo it, but you can make the consequences of it lessen, right? You can do something in that moment to, so essentially this window begins to crack, and then finally a tentacle bursts through into the room as it gets flooded with water. I'm going to make everyone roll me move to see how you essentially handle this moment. The tentacle, however,
Technically, it should be instant death with how much
is going to give you an extra 2 dice, Dr. Blackwell. As it's going straight for you.
Got a 5.
I'm going to spend a drive.
5? Yeah.
5.
5.
5. 5, 5, 5.
5.
5. Come on.
Oh wait, I rolled 2 and I only actually get 1. One was a 6 and one was a 3.
5.
3.
Okay, that's a failure. This water comes crashing in. Anyone that failed is going to take a body mark as you get slammed against the wall. Anyone who got mixed success, gets slammed against the wall with a full failure. You're going to take 2 body marks.
As I see this happening...
You do not take a mark, however, as the tentacle wraps around you, shielding you from any further damage.
Can I ask a question? Engineering-wise, the 2 switches that got turned, isn't that's supposed to destroy the facility, right?
So essentially there's different modes.
Okay. The corn shield is so. But Betty links back to the video, since that thing, whatever they did help release that creature, and there's different sequences, they look back, remember what the Admiral tried to do when he was going to show, remembers the situation, and would have gone to immediately activate the stuff there, until she realizes, wait, if she does that, they're all dead. Killing everyone. And Hercule asked them. And Corin asked Hercule to join them, to join the Riftborn. He's contemplating this. And his scars on the side of the neck start to flare, split. He looks over and said, "I'm sorry, Betty. It was inevitable." This Betty, who just started trusting him, regaining trust, is getting more distraught and basically, and with what she perceives as only one other friend left on this team. She radios on Val and tells her to escape, and said, Val says to come with it, but may I let them explain.
Get out of here.
Hey, what?
I know how to blow it up.
No, it's leaving time. We're going.
You get out of here.
No, we can run with me.
No, they took Marcus. I'm not gonna let him get away with that. Please go. Do it.
She starts slowly backing towards the door. Flips off her radio.
I want to wait till Val gets a good distance.
I'm guessing like she manages to get outside the building.
And I'm gonna spend my tide die. Shift the tide.
Oh, what a moment. Perfect moment.
To basically
Use her laugh.
get to that console. Using this moment as the body's destroyed and everything else. Avoiding whatever's going on. And I want to get to that console. And put in the code and switch the keys.
Okay. What are we doing over here as this happens?
As as Hercule says, he thinks back to the scar, the brain scar he got when he covered her, the one he took for Betty, and when he covered her, thinks back into think of some motion that used to remind her of Marcus to let her know suddenly that he's actually on her side, giving her a little something. But one thing it's hard to know that gets a little annoying is often when you're focusing, they'll address an action towards someone, but they'll do it by actually looking at a person. But since they're off camera, we can't exactly pull it out. Especially the GM, who when we see them look to address one of them, all we can see is him looking to one side, so we can know which from amongst 2 or 3 people he is, but no. But this is right. He's addressing this action to Corin.
And as I bend the knee, I take the ampule that is in my hand and slam it into her thigh.
Do you still have a shift the tide?
Oh yes.
Do you want to tell us what happens?
Hercule de Bourdin is famous for creating a solution, a cure for a disease called ravage, which was destroying children. What no one ever said was the horrible price these children pay through the treatment. As I inject that medication into your skin, your body overclocks. Every mitochondria in your system triggers into triple, quadruple, quintuple overdrive, and you can feel yourself starting to burn. You are literally heating yourself from the inside out. And if you cannot find a way to stop this, you will be consumed.
She starts to feel the burning from inside and holds on to her metal, which is now colder and colder. Riftwalker, please heal me from within. Riftwalker, please heal me from within. And can I do some type of check for how I've connected with?
I do believe that you've actually also achieved a goal.
This is fucking mad! What is wrong with you people?
And from
Calm down, fish
I am just a fucking beast! I am a beast! Not some demon talking motherfucker!
demon talking, just communing. As this happens, the salt water seems to almost caress the wounds that I have. And through the massive rift that I have created in my arm, the salt water starts to dive into my veins, and I can feel it cooling me from within.
I think as you feel it cooling you, you know instinctively that this comes at a terrible, terrible cost.
Yeah.
So you...
Yeah. Hercule and Betty stay for action stuff. They are trying to work on everyone, by the way, who needs oxygen. I'm not sure if Damon still needs it or not. But anyone who's still, they're on fumes right now. And Val's trying to make her way, again, far away this and back to the on fumes. As see, Emma. Ben and Hercule have the most oxygen, but they're staying behind, so.
Anyone's,
Fumes.
you know,
Just fumes.
yeah, I think absolutely we're running on fumes here.
Right. 4.
4, okay. You feel an overwhelming and intense heat behind you as a explosion.
And we just lost 4, and we just lost.
Emanating from the Crimson Strand sends you flying. You find yourself, after maybe 5, 10, 20, who knows how long, oxygen depriving you of your senses, desperately crawling, swimming up through one of these cavernous holes, doing everything you can until eventually you sort of almost drift out of the top of one of the holes. You see the Thresher ahead of you as your vision starts to go and closes. Until you hear, "Wait, what the hell happened? Are you alright? Hello?"
Captain Atticus?
You open your eyes. You are suddenly on the Thresher. You are coughing up blood and salt water.
Oh.
What on earth was that?
Oh. Captain, it's gone.
What?
It's gone, did you see?
Yeah, but I mean...
They're dead.
And you see the captain goes, "Well, that's a shame."
But I got it.
You get it?
I got it.
What'd you get? You got the blueprints?
USB.
Ha! Give you a massive high five. Sweet!
They all had secrets, of
That
course.
couldn't have worked out better. There's not even anyone left to hang about and tell us what happened.
It's a shame.
I gotta say, that is some fine work. You know that.
Well.
Atlantec is gonna give you
I
a
know that.
raise.
It's more luck than skill, you know.
God,
Oh, come on, don't
Get
do
in.
yourself dirty, do you know what I
Get
mean?
in, get out, get paid, go home.
Oh, a nice bath? At this point, the Thresher is currently
Oh my fucking
leaving.
Benny was the most honest.
god.
And we will just now, as the Thresher leaves, we will stay behind just for a second. As we descend one last time back down through the hole to see this smouldering rubble that is left of the Rán Boer station. You see severed, these huge, sort of chitinous, severed tentacles lying, ripped to pieces, on the ocean floor. There's one, however, curled in a sort of tight ball. And as it loosens, you just see floating, limp, but not lifeless, 2 fish-like beings. No faces, one slight and lithe, one hulking and huge. They and begin, 2 of them, to swim up to the surface. And that is where we're going to end our second episode of Thresher. Thank you so much. What a story! I mean, that's like what? Like what even? We're not gonna just whatever you're doing right now. Just go to Beacon and watch the cooldown, because why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, sadly they'll be explaining a lot of the hidden secret. I imagine they'll be hitting. I don't have Beacon yet, so I have no idea what the secrets are.
We have to. Oh my word! Oh, thank you so much. A huge.
The cliffhanger and stuff that was behind. This is probably the biggest temptation for me to get Beacon.
Huge thank you to my
This
cast,
year.
to the crew. What? Wow, my brain is mush. Complete mush. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the cool down.
Oh my god.
Woo! Oh, wait, hold on. I just realized.
What?
Is it Thursday yet?
And that will get into the final part of today's episode, the multiple the multiple homebrews. First up, our D&D 2 items, both aquatic themed. The Scimitar of the Swimming Shark. It is a weapons of. It is uncommon, it's like a. So it's not a very rare thing, but it does require attunement for strength. While you are tuned. While you are tuned and actively wielding these blades, not just you can't just, you have to be in your hands, not just it can't be sheathed for you to be working. Your swim speed increases by your movement speed. It doesn't become your movement speed like you're walking yourself like that. No, whatever checks you do to determine how far you swim and stuff, then you add it to your movement. Important distinction. But you have to keep moving. Otherwise, you will take 1d12 of unreducible damage, just no subtraction stuff, at the end of your turn if you're not willingly moving. You can't just be carried or something. It's why you have advantage on all attacks with this blade against a target that has taken bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage since your last turn. Gives you advantage on attacks, increased speed. But with that drawback, it's what allows it to be to reduce it all the way down to uncommon. Out of that, your proficiency with scimitars allow you to add your precision attacks, and it has a nick property. And here, one that we've already used before. The Potion of Aqua Aspectu. One that would have been useful it would probably have been more useful previous episode. When you drink this potion, all water that you can see will appear as if it's not there for 1 hour. Minerals in the water will also be under this effect. However, living beings in the water are not, so DM decides whether or not the effect applies to the water in the atmosphere. Also, there's no range, so just all water stuff. And meaning also, if it appears, and when I say appears, it's not just fully transparent. It is no light reduction at all, which means technically you would be able to see as if it also technically would almost be dark vision, as long as it's in water. And finally, a little preview of what things to come. My Daggerheart class, the Swashbuckler. The combination of the names of Valor and Grace, with a spell casting trait of agility. Both the starting evasion and hit points are 8. And your class items, you get a large feather hat or a skull ornament. Kind of follows the pirate theme, even though you don't have to play it as a pirate. As you would see in the subclasses tomorrow, because I'll only show you the general class feature. The subclasses will be revealed tomorrow with the rest of Wave 1 of the third and final expansion pack. But as for features, you got Swashbuckler's Hope, which is a courteous combo. I took a little look and realized, oh wait, their Hope features also have individual names, so I'll have to go back and start naming things. To be fair, I wanted to give stuff named before, but didn't think they actually had it, so it means I'll just have to remember after all this. Anyway, during a tag team, spend 1 hope to have your partner in the tag team roll their duality die a second time. When you do a tag team in Daggerheart, you both roll your duality things to make a mark for the attacks, and you choose which one you take. This also makes giving you 3 different final choices. Thought that'd be cool combo things. For it works with the grandiose of the. I feel this feature will go best with the Swashbuckler. And then class feature parry. When a creature rolls an attack against you that is greater than your evasion, mark 1 stress and roll your own attack. If your attack roll is higher than theirs, the triggering attack misses. Please note that the attack will actually be technically go not against their main body, but against their weapon to block. And with that, I thank you for joining me. This is Freener Reamentra. I'm sorry for the delay in getting this, but I wish you good fortune on the. I do wish you good fortune on the quest of life.